还有一个镜头可能会在I think maybe they're starting to see like the amount of
We're about to begin. Can everyone step up towards the stage? Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Ed. Daniel, move up.
Gentlemen, welcome to the fantastic museum. Given we have very hard-working afternoon and all these fantastic experiences, it's a time for you to share it with each other before you run into even nicer dinner and other activities later. So let's stick to the presentation moments, and then Ding Kong will give us a very brief welcoming note.
Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are very happy to be here. Just to say that welcome all of you to visit this city and our campus graduate school, Tsinghua in Shenzhen. Yesterday we had the press meeting. Today become the number one in the internet. I said that our university will establish a global campus in Shenzhen. So this is today's many newspaper report our meeting, conference, also for this news. So, in fact, my university now want to stay the contract with the local government. We try to use 5 years in the future to establish a new campus we call the Tsinghua Shenzhen Global Campus. Of course, the CRA and the Tsinghua, this collaboration is a very important program in this campus. So today and tomorrow you will spend 2 days in the city for the innovation, student training, and research collaboration. So that I think we can have a very good tomorrow and the future. I really thank Professor François and our student friends. They are gave a very big contribution for this last October we discussed in the Paris. Today all of guests are already here. I expect every year we can have at least once like this. Maybe more people will join us. Thank you so much.
Also, today we have the honor to invite the Director of the Office for Higher Education of Shenzhen City. So, Mr. Yan Hui, yeah, he will give us, all the, especially the foreign participant of the activity, welcome note. Yeah, please.
我代表深圳市教育局，欢迎来自这个世界各地的朋友们。
So he will welcome all of you from the different continents of the world to Shenzhen, presenting the honor of the city of Shenzhen.
深圳是一座年轻的城市，现代化的城市，创新型的城市，也是一个国际化的城市。
So Shenzhen is a city, is a young, fast developing and innovative city in China.
这一次的活动呢非常成功，为我们深圳市的这个创新呢，应该说带来了新的活力。
It's a very successful activity and bringing new energy for the development of Shenzhen.
希望大家在深圳这个过得愉快。
So hope everyone here enjoy the stay and life in Shenzhen.
谢谢大家。
Thank you. Anyway, all organizer and the president will be very happy and honored to have you here. 非常感谢你来参加我们这个活动。
好，谢谢。
Group 1.
All right, I will do the wrap-up summary, or start at the wrap-up summary for Group 1, and that'll be followed by Peter. I asked some people advice on how to describe this, and I was immediately told, just don't talk too much, Paul. So I won't.
Talk about the algorithms.
We had a series of really interesting discussions at iCarbonX. iCarbonX talked to us in detail about the work that they're doing on multi-omics data analysis, on how they're thinking about bridging large data sets together, and how they're going to use those to impact human health in a variety of really clever ways. We had a series of very vigorous and productive conversations about that business model, about some of the technical aspects of the machine learning that led to a lot of discussion. And maybe the most beautiful part of it was after the formal presentations were done, people naturally broke up into a series of small groups of people from iCarbonX and from countries around the world talking about different aspects of it, be it the machine learning or the specific aspects of the big data sets that people were interested in. Peter.
Thank you, Paul. There is a Dutch expression, and I came up when I was visiting the museum in a discussion with Buster, and an expression, if you translate an expression, you lose certain kind of things, but that doesn't matter, I will explain it. The expression is, I've heard the bell ring, but I don't know where the trigger? The striker hangs. I've heard the bell ring, but I don't know where the striker hangs. And that is part of my feeling of this afternoon. I heard a lot of things of which I didn't understand everything, but that wasn't necessary, because the most important thing was made, and that was the passion that was shown by these three young kids. I'm a 50-year-old man, so I can call a guy from 22 or 23 or 25 a young kid. The passion in the eyes of these young kids was enormous. And I'm a big fan of data. I started to talk about data in Toronto, and after a talk I gave there, Steve said, you should call this talk, That's My Data. Well, I gave my data to these three young guys, and they now scientifically proved that I'm not only 50% female because of my genes, but a little bit more. And that's because I have a female donor and a bone marrow transplantation. Afterwards, and Paul already mentioned it, we had such a beautiful discussion which showed the importance of data and the passion that everybody shares around data. And I think what was made clear to us is that this year we know a lot. Next year we will know more. But it won't double. It will grow exponentially. And the secret that's behind the data nowadays will be in the future the solution that will help a lot of patients. And remember, please all, that it's not about the data, it's not about research, it's not about treatments, but it's about the quality of life for patients and their loved ones. And when everything fits, each one plays his part and oversees the whole picture. And that's what I experienced this afternoon. Now there is still one question not answered. And that needs to be answered, maybe not tonight, but the coming days. And that's a question from my Dutch countryman, Beck. What about the algorithms?
All right.
Thank you.
Our journey, the blue group, traveled along the Dasha River today. So we got a lot of fresh air. It was a bit of an outward bound experience. The Dasha River we found to be a great resource for the campus and the city. We enjoyed, some of us, one of us, went into the river.
Where is she?
Yeah, right here. And we're back here to, I'd like to say, a few water quality issues.
How are you feeling?
I thank you very much, Buster, because what you did in preparing this is you allowed us, through art, to connect with each other and to connect with the city and to be creative, to share really special moments, to go to the edge, to want to make a statement, to bring art and to take art and to be part of art. And that invited us to come up to little kids and give them this magical stuff. And it invited us to go into the water and to put it there in the middle, to climb a gate, to put an umbrella on a camera. I mean, we really
Which we were chastised by the security guard.
So it was looking for the edge, but in that also connecting with each other, because as I jumped in the river, all of my team really took care of me in trying to get me out. So it was, I don't think I exaggerate to say that it was really a magical experience to be able to connect to the beautiful city of Shenzhen.
You were our surrogate brave one that went into the river, and we had props. The props were every sculptor has to have props, and we all had our props to measurements of the water. We encountered a wall along this great asset that the city has, and I addressed the city and the campus as a resource that has fabulous potential. On our journey downriver, we came upon this fence. Some of us scaled over it, but we decided, because not all of us could pass by, that we would go another route. But this fence is a barrier, and it would be great to take it down, because the journey along the river is one of your cherished assets, and you've got good bones with your utilidor that runs along the river and your areas that you provided for bioremediation and the issue of the rising and the lowering of the water with large flood moments. So I think that you need to pull together the artists and the engineers and the scientists that we have gathered here to look at your river as a way to that water that passes through as a major design project. So I'm trying to work out a job for all of us here so we can come back and enjoy more of your hospitality.
Okay, so we went, so while you guys were just, having fun and so on, some people were working really hard at Seed Studio. And I'd like one person from each of the 5 teams who I pointed to come up right now. So can you please come up, the representatives of the 5 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we're going to tell you very briefly what we did. So we did a micro hackathon. And we had 3 hours. The first hour, we brainstormed about what we could do with Seed Studio's amazing array of open source. And the goal was to be really impactful, to do something that was practical, and above all, to do something that was cool. Okay, so we're going to hear from each of the teams in order. So team 1.
Yeah, so I never had any experience. Okay, really short. Never had any experience with this. Totally blown away. The seed group is phenomenal. Thank you so much for all of that energy that you did for us to make it just a transformative experience, really. We had 3 incredible projects that we could have done. We decided we were going to do sensors, 6-axis sensors on wrists and on legs, and that they would all feed into your cell phone and then give feedback on neuromuscular behavior. And we wanted to focus on motor neuron disease. And we think we have really a prototype. We had a working prototype of a 3-axis accelerometer detector, and we can imagine the entire project. And I think we're going to actually try to do it. So we're incredibly excited about it. Great. And just to make it feasible, that they can put stuff in our hands to make a really feasible project in that length of time. Best science lab I've been in 40 years. Oh.
So our team was working on identifying some different types of challenges, right? We were already focused on pollution of air and pollution of soil, pollution of water. So we instead chose to focus on pollution of noise and light, and specifically how those things affect what's inside the home, not just around it. And so we built a sensor and demonstrated it, a prototype sensor that would let us detect the level of ambient noise and light in a home environment. And we packaged it up in a very kid-friendly package called Monk AI, which is definitely a reach of spelling, but the idea being that we could get kids to participate in this data collection effort, ultimately to help us feed the efforts of real estate developers, people who are creating buildings, helping them to think about how they could make these buildings more insulated from noise and light pollution, because it's really something we're going to have to face as we build ever more dense urban environments.
First of all, thank you to the Seed Studio for having us over. That was a really nice opportunity, and it was great fun doing what we did. So, as everyone was building sensors, products out of sensors, we built one too. So we built something called My Little Sensor, which is a small little sensor which you kept on your table, and it kind of took into account the temperature, the environment, the air pressure, the air quality, and it stored all that data. And it would have to work with an app on your phone. So your phone would record your facial features, your tactile feedback, how hard you're hitting your screen, and it would also take into account your voice modulation, and your phone would gauge how your mood was, what your emotional content was like. And then you would connect your phone to this little sensor which was on your table, and it would tell you that how your environment is affecting your emotional level, and that in turn would make us more aware of our environment and around us on an individual level. So instead of just seeing the environment as a whole, that oh, we can do this to make it better, we can do that and maybe it'll get better, here you're going to see a real-time vision of how your environment is actually affecting you as a person. So it makes you more aware and makes you actually do something about making the environment better. That's it. Thank you.
First of all, thank you to Seed Studio for hosting us. It was amazing to see that they created kind of a mini Shenzhen inside a building, because it was full of stuff, like the big buildings in the city, but at the same time every desk had multiple plants. So it was green and, I don't know, vibrant of work and stuff. Thank you for providing us with the kits that we could just open and play with. I think that was the most important part that brought up a brainstorm. Just to read what sensor we had, just to play with the kit and see the sensors helped a lot in brainstorming and get out of our linear way of thinking. We decided to do something with plants. And one part was to see how the plant is doing, if the plant is happy or not, with CO2 sensors. And the other thing is to try to imitate what a microclimate plants create in the urban environment. So is the temperature changing? Can you make a set of plans and can it show you that it changes the temperature compared to a part where you don't have plants? Or is the humidity changed? And does that improve our health situation living in a city? But most of all, it was very fun. It brought a child in me above. I made like a little, I don't know, physical representation that thought, oh, it's on the screen right now. So I felt like I went back to kindergarten. I'm not a designer, I'm not an artist, as you can see. But it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of material. So we played, we thought, and we got a lot of ideas. The next sense I want to make is something to follow my movements of the Tai Chi classes I take. So I'm going home with a lot of ideas, and hopefully the package of the sensors will be on the market soon because I want to take one home.
Well, I'll agree with you. While the art group was outdoors being kindergartners, we were indoors being kindergartners. So the engineer nerds and the outdoor nerds. For our group, we kind of struggled to balance impact and practicality and definitely coolness, but we came to the decision that we wanted to improve the efficiency of solar panels by putting sensors on top of them that let you know when dust is accumulating. So we used a color sensor and a dust accumulation sensor, and when that recorded a high amount of dust on it, it would trigger a motor which would then pour water on the solar panel and clean it off. Unfortunately, we couldn't actually get it to work, so there was a lot of drawings and pictures going on. But like I said, we got an opportunity to act like kindergartners, and it was great.
Before you leave, so we had this was a hackathon. So the first hour was brainstorming, second hour building, and the third hour putting together their business plans. And they pitched their business plans 3 minutes each. And the judges were 4 of our engineers from Seed Studio who had given up their Saturday afternoon to be with us and help us out, as well as David Lee. And they voted on 3 categories, 1 to 10 on how practical the device was, how impactful it was, and how cool it was. And I'm here to announce now the list. I've totally open data here. I'm going to share all the results, I was on Team 5, and frankly, I thought that this was really amazing. This was really fantastic, and I would invest in it, but I wasn't a judge, apparently. So I'm here to announce that in first place was Team 1. And very close for second place, but just ahead was Team 4. Sorry, Team 2. Pardon me. Right? And followed by Team 3, Team 4, and Team 5. Thank you very much. Thank you. By the way, thanks very much to G for organizing this, and Looping, of course, who was the brains behind it.
I'm not done with you guys yet, so please. Did everyone enjoy the afternoon? Yes? Everyone enjoy the evening here? Yes. Yes? Okay, so this place is, very happily offered by someone, not only supporting our activity, but also Chinese culture. Mr. Cai, the owner of the space, he wants to give a very welcome note to all of you.
大家晚上好，我是明治集团的蔡信成，感谢深圳市市委市政府跟清华大学，还有在座的国际友人们，欢迎明治集团龙盛博物馆。
Yeah. Okay. Welcome everyone to the Longshan Museum. All of you from the other countries and also from Tsinghua University.
我们博物馆是中国最大的私人博物馆。
This is the largest private museum in China.
有古画、书法、青铜器、陶器、玉器、国石翡翠。
Wow, all kinds of luxury and crazy cultural things in China. I can just not translate them, with China, some jade and painting you can see, and you will enjoy it, guys. It's out of my word ever basically. 我没法翻译这个，太难了。
金融投资、影视基金。
So they have venture capital. They have funding for film, industry.
请各位国际友人支持中国文化，传递中国文化。
So hope everyone here can support and spread Chinese culture.
希望各位国际友人今晚玩得开心，吃得愉快，谢谢。
So enjoy the evening, enjoy everything.